Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. You might notice that there's a tiny change to the car since the last video. In this video, I'm just gonna go over everything that I did over the summer. It's been a pretty busy summer, and what is to come, i.e. what to expect, and how my 2 track days or test days went with the aero and suspension and brakes and all that. So I learned how to heat press t-shirts, and I heat pressed this one. I think it looks cool. It's not on sale or anything, but if you want to see that on sale, just let me know in the comments or DM me or something. But yeah, let's go through what happened over summer. I generally avoid the summer months for tracking my car, just because I'm hot, the car's hot, it's hot, and places like Buttonwillow don't really have any shade, so you have to kind of just deal with it. Over the course of the summer, I installed and did a whole bunch of stuff. Oil change, transmission fluid change, and then big installs. So Aero was installed over a couple of weeks. Installed the wing, the splitter, the canards, the end plates. Also did a dash cam upgrade for the rear. I upgraded the underbelly bolts from star pattern to hex bolts since they're just easier to remove. I got a nice set of coilovers. They've been great. They're also height adjustable. Also added the rear AP brake kits in addition to the fronts that I already had. The reason I did that was because the brake temperature was really hot compared to another Corvette C7 that I had right beside me. I also got the AIM Solo 2DL to do better tracking, so I can track my accelerator and brake and all that information. I have the Garmin Catalyst, but the Garmin Catalyst doesn't have data login for your car metrics, so I really need that. And I don't have the PDR system on my car, so yeah. The first mod I did actually was the Paragon front lights. It's not really functional, I just thought it looked good. And finally, I upgraded the lights in my garage. That's why it looks nice and bright over here. Okay, so what to expect in the future, and why am I doing all of this? One is I really like Aero. I am an engineer at heart, and so just the physics of how like air gives you more grip is just really fascinating to me. No one is offering me keys to their high downforce cars, so you know, you kind of have to just do it yourself, and that's how we landed here. And then another primary reason is because I'm trying to go into the time attack space. I want to do it with Aero, and I also want to do it with parts that I fabricate or make myself. Part of it is just out of necessity. At this level of motorsports, when you start veering away from a stock car, support gets lower and lower, right? There might be a handful of people who make functional Aero wings for this car, but anything more you're gonna have to do yourself. But at some point you just have to make your own stuff, and I think I'm really good at making my own stuff. I have a 3D printer. I have learned a lot about design lately, and I'm just really excited to fabricate and make my own stuff and put them on the car. Tires, I have the RE71 RS for my next Grid Life Time Attack. The maximum size is 285, so I have 285 square. I've never run square, so we'll see how that goes. I did 2 track days over the summer. I like to think of them as test days. One was at Sonoma, and then the second test day was a couple of weeks ago actually at Thunderhill. That's when I had installed the Aero, and I'm just gonna go over, you know, what those 2 test days were like and what lessons I learned from them. One of the reasons I started this channel was just to document how stuff changes on my car as time goes on. Before I got Aero, I did so much research on Aero in general, Aero in cars. I've never really found a good description of what it feels like to drive a track road car with and without Aero. In my case, it was like a couple months after tracking the car without Aero, I come back. Driving at the limit feels like driving at the limit, Aero or no Aero, right? However, I did notice that in some corners, I'm braking a lot later, or I don't have to brake as much. But the feeling of sensation of the car, there's not much of a difference. Data logging is amazing. I installed the AIM Solo and wired it up to the car, and I just have so much cleaner and more useful information now than I do with just the GPS. So I'm really excited to dive into that. The problem with the AIM is since it's a standalone unit, you kind of have to connect it to your computer to really get the best out of it. That becomes a problem because the Garmin Catalyst has everything just right there in front of you, but the data is much more useful than just using a GPS device. I was scraping everywhere, small, big braking zones, it doesn't matter, I was scraping. And so I went through a lot of damage. And so you can see how bad I'm like scraping through this titanium puck. All right, well, that's all I have for now. Hope you enjoyed all the yapping, and I'll see you next time. Bye.